Let's welcome to the show New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Okay, Congressman, I know you're fired up and ready to go. We want you to sit tight and listen to the soundbite. President Biden saying first responders and cops should be fired if they're not vaccinated. Watch.
As many as 1 in 3 emergency responders in some cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, right here in Baltimore, are refusing to comply with city vaccine mandates. I'm wondering where you stand on that. Should police officers, emergency responders, be mandated to get vaccines? And if not, should they be stay at home or let go?
Yes and yes. By the way, I waited until July to talk about mandating because I tried everything else possible.
Okay, you know what's bothersome about this? How about the president or Anderson Cooper or any of us try to walk in the shoes of a first responder for just one day? They wouldn't want to get up the next day. How about that?
Well, you know what? Just at the get-go, I have to say this is literally the worst administration and the worst majority Congress in the history of the United States of America. It is unbelievable. These men and women put their life on the line every day. They go through all kinds of abuse. They do everything they can to protect us. They didn't have the option, of course, of staying home the way a lot of us did. They had to be out there. They had to be on the streets. They had to be protecting us. They had to risk their lives now in even more ways than they ever did before. And to just dismiss them and say they should just be fired if they don't do exactly what, the president wants, and I'm not sure he knows what he wants. I've previously asked him to take a cognitive test, but of course he hasn't done it. It's awful. It's horrible. It's mean-spirited. And let me say one more thing. This administration and this president constantly talks down to the good working men and women of this country. There is an arrogance there that is not acceptable. We work for you. Congress, the Senate, and the president work for you. You don't work for us.
And we hear you loud and clear. Everybody knows about the importance of vaccines. They get it. What they're talking about is the government pushing them around to do it. And, we get about the smallpox vaccine. We get it about the polio vaccine. What they're talking about is a vaccine with a spike protein in it that could hit their organs hard. How about talking to them instead of bullying them? And now we've got supply chain chaos. Is creating what the American Medical Association is calling an urgent public health crisis. The FDA is citing a shortage of 115 prescription drugs needed for COVID, cancer, and diabetes. The cargo carriers, FedEx and UPS, the Atlanta Fed, they're talking about labor shortages. They're talking about people walking off the jobs at ports come Thanksgiving because, the president is pushing the vax mandate. They're saying delay it until after the holidays. Listen, we'll say it again. It's important to get vaccinated. This is a deadly disease. But are they doing it correctly? Is he ramming it through in tone-deaf ways, just like he did the exit out of Afghanistan?
Somehow, this president and this administration is making what should be part of the cure worse than the disease, as hard as that is to believe. We're a free country. We have freedom of speech. We have freedom of faith and religion. We have freedom of education, I hope still. And we also should have freedom of how we deal with our health care. I'm not anti-vaccine. I had the vaccine. I encourage people to get it. But it is their right to make that judgment and to make that decision. We are a free country. And so much of what he's doing is wrong, especially with the mandates, because Americans want to have their freedom, regardless of how they feel about the issue of the vaccine. So they're quitting their jobs when they're being forced. They're not joining the labor force when they should be. The way that he handled originally paying people more to stay home than to go out and work has also created this supply chain problem. It's a real issue. It's hurting our economy. It's hurting our future. And it's also going to hurt our health, as you heard from the AMA. These are real issues. We have a president and an administration that is so out of touch. It should scare people. If it doesn't, they should really think about it.
Again, the issue again and again and again, and we've said it repeatedly on the show, it's this, that the Supreme Court ruling in 1905 said that states, the power about vaccines belong to local officials in the states, not in a centralized government in Washington, D.C., period. That's what it's about. And the OSHA emergency standards they've been citing, and they have been overturned in court. So, you know, you're pushing through a vaccine mandate that could get overturned in court. So, final word, what do you say?
Even in New Jersey, we give people the option. There's religious exemptions, there's health exemptions. People should have the freedom to make a choice, and then we should encourage them to do the right thing. And by the way, how about if you have natural antibodies that you've developed because you have the virus? They won't even deal with that. We've sent letters. I'm in the doctor's caucus. I'm a dentist, to the CDC, and they won't even show us the courtesy for United States congressmen to get a return answer.
Yeah, we don't know about antibodies. We don't know how long they last. Could be, nobody knows. So that's something that deserves exploration too. So, you know, yeah, we hear you, Congressman. Final word.
If I could jump in real quick, you know, there's a difference. The smallpox vaccine, you get vaccinated, and then you have built up the resistance for the rest of your life. This vaccine already, we're finding out, literally does not last as long as they thought. It's more like a flu vaccine, and it really does not necessarily keep us safe for the future.
Well, we got to take it every year, it's going to sound like. All right, Congressman Van Drew, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming on.